All right, Doug, this one's for you. So I got a 362 jug here, and so I ported half of it today just to show you what I do on both the 441 and the 362. And so you can see this side here is really restricted, and so I scribed a little mark right there to show the inside of the gasket, and the gasket pretty well matches the case. And so the piston pretty much comes just past the cylinder skirt at top dead center. And so you can see this corner right here on the piston sticks up above the pistons or the cylinder skirt. But I just go inside and scribe a line and make sure I keep it below that line. And then I transfer that line to the outside. And so that shiny line right there is quite a bit higher. You wind up almost flush with this if you go to the piston line, but you can see these vertical lines right here and that one right there. So I scribe those right at the end of the transfers where I'm going to bring it up, and I'll leave this piece of the skirt here, and so you have all this skirt back here and this piece, and then this piece between the ports, and that'll kind of center the skirt and the case. But you can see how much of the skirt I cut off, and then thin the skirt down and then blend it down into the port. You know, it really opens that port up. So, and then I'll grind out to those marks too and kind of gasket match it. And so you can see how much more port area that opens up once you do that. And then by cutting the skirt out, it it's a shorter path as the air comes out under the piston and goes back up in the transfers. So basically the exact same thing I do on the 441 and the 261. And I opened the exhaust up on this too. This is the first time I've done this. So I widened it. You can kind of see the pencil marks on the piston there. I widened it a little bit, and I hogged out the bottom. And in the center of the exhaust port, I didn't go up any, but I'm going to cut the squish band and I'll end up decking this too, and so then I'll have to reset all my numbers. But out of curiosity though, put a degree wheel on a brand new 362, and so squish was 27.5, exhaust 100, and blow down 29, transfers opened at 129, and then intake of 69 degrees for a duration of 138. And so that's why it wants to run so good. They just can't breathe. So yeah, that porting in a bark box, you know, or muffler mod or whatever, really wakes them up. So the thing wants to run, it just needs to breathe. So I think once I do everything, I think I'm going to change this to probably 25, and we'll see what happens. But that should open up those transfers too and get more volume up into the cylinder. But so I got a 441 jug here too, and I tried to send you a video the other day, but you can kind of see I got some Sharpie lines right there where I would hog this skirt out, and same thing. You can see how narrow those are. And then I got this side cut off because of the topic we were talking about the other day. I wanted to see the strato port. So you can see it would come up in the strato port right here, and then these would be the transfers. But anyway, I might do a separate video on that. But same basic idea. 441's got a much better exhaust port and terribly restricted intake, but they run okay when you port them and get them to breathe and muffler mod. But same idea. And then I got a 261 cylinder here, so same thing. Just bring the piston up, and it's got a little notch in the piston for the intake, but bring it up just about even with the bottom of the skirt, and then just trace a line around here. So I started, let's see, I started porting this, but didn't get very far. It was late at night, so I didn't get too far on it, but same thing. You see that line there where the piston comes up and stops. So I'll cut this half of the skirt down right to that line, and again, I'll leave this between the ports, and then I'll hog those ports out. And these are actually way better ports than the 441 relative to the size and displacement, but same idea though. And I actually haven't ported a 261 and run it yet, so that'll be news to me, but I'm going to try. I opened up this intake a little bit, and then the 261, the way they work is the intake has a divider in it, and it just comes straight out of the single butterfly carb. And so I'm going to cut that divider out of it, and I'll get mixed fuel down in what they call the strato side of things too. And so we'll see if that gives a little performance boost. Obviously, if we're doing this kind of stuff, we don't care about fuel economy and EPA emissions and all that. So it's all about performance gains, right? So, yeah, I'm going to cut the squish band on this too. I'll end up cutting the base, resetting the numbers. I haven't put a degree wheel on this because this is actually another saw, so I haven't torn the actual saw apart yet. But anyway, I'll keep you guys posted as I don't know, have running results of doing this stuff. So I'm glad not all the saws are this way because it's a pain in the butt. But anyway, there you go.